Okay, gang, our first AMA is from Hold On Dog Training. And Hold On Dog Training wants to know about kennel techniques. Basically, removing a dog from a kennel, placing a dog in a kennel or crate, and either applying their gear, their collars, training collars and gear, or removing them. And was saying that the dog will bite when trying to remove any of the gear. So here's the deal, for you and everybody else. We deal with a lot of biting dogs. We never, this is one of my gold standard rules that everybody that comes through TGD, interns, shadows, trainers, whatever, what have you, we never gear dogs up inside the kennel, and we never ungear them inside the kennel. There's too much pressure. Too many dogs will give you different behavior in a kennel or a crate, far nastier, far more defensive, far more concerned, far more fearful, far more agitated, far more everything if they're inside the crate or kennel. So we don't do it. The trick is to remove, so if you're going to put a dog away in a kennel, the trick is to remove the gear outside the crate or kennel, put the dog on a slip lead. I'll show you guys in another video the Majors release that I was taught by my good friend Jeremy Majors with Majors Academy, which is a great way to get a slip lead using another leash. You might already know it, but if not, I'll show it to you. Which is a great way to remove a slip lead off a dog once it's in a crate if it's a questionable dog. Now, getting a dog out of a crate that doesn't have any gear on, once again, you find yourself in a bit of a predicament. So you have a couple options. One is you do the old lasso, which is like, you hope the dog wants to come out and not come out like a gangbusters running of the bulls that want to bite you. So you can use the crate door to manage that and make sure the dog doesn't come bolting out, and then use a slip lead. And if you've got really good timing and you've done your homework on how to actually do the, like slipping around the dog's head, and the dog isn't super resistant to it, you might have some luck with that. Or you run into more challenges when the dog doesn't want to come out, and then you've got to try and lasso the dog while they're inside the crate. All of these are challenging. All of these contribute to higher stress between you and the dog. They contribute to less trust and more friction, more combativeness, more tension between you guys. So here's a strategy that works really well. Take a long line and attach it to the dog's flat buckle collar, and then get yourself one of those automatic grabbers, not automatic, those mechanical grabbers, and leave the long line in. Hopefully they're not the type that likes to eat long lines, because then that's a problem in and of itself. But the percentage of dogs that want to eat long lines is very small compared to the percentage of dogs that will happily bite you if you reach into the kennel to gear them up or ungear them. So putting a long line on the dog gets rid of all that, right? So then you can just reach in, grab the line. If you need the grabber, if the line is in some place you don't want it, grab the long line, and then you can escort the dog out. And if you need to muzzle the dog from there, you muzzle the dog, gear the dog up, go about your business, come back in. You're going to deposit the dog back into the crate or the kennel, and so you muzzle the dog back up if you're going to do that if you need to, and then remove the gear, put the long line on, escort the dog back into the crate. Nobody gets bitten, nobody goes to the hospital, nice and easy. And then of course, what I've included in this is that the dog accepts the muzzle and that's not a problem. So any dog that comes in here that has any questionable behavior has to be muzzle conditioned prior to coming in. So I highly recommend anybody who's working with dogs of any questionable nature, whether it's with other dogs, redirecting on walks, or just human aggression or fear aggression or whatever you want to call aggression, any kind of aggression, make sure the dog is muzzle conditioned prior to coming in, and make sure your owners really do their work and don't just phone it in, but the dog actually will readily accept a muzzle. Lots of videos on how to do that. And then you have a much easier time once you get the dog out. So if you think about those two components as being kind of your magic tricks to keep yourself safe, long line on the dog, like the things I shared prior, those are the hardest ones. And like I said, they can create a lot of tension, a lot of friction. Trying to lasso a dog in a crate that doesn't want to come out, or trying to lasso a dog that does want to come out and has ill intent. Both of those are scary, questionable, and can get you into trouble and create friction. So we're trying to eliminate the friction and get you guys into a smooth, safe space. The long line on the dog, and then using the grabber to grab the handle of that and then pull the dog out just circumvents the whole deal. And if you've done the homework, and if your clients have done the homework of muzzle conditioning the dog, then you can actually safely gear the dog up, because that's another part of this is, like, guys, like, we can get the dogs in and out of the crate, no problem. But if they weren't muzzle conditioned, like, I don't want to be, that's a highly intimate act with a lot of pressure. And I don't mean pressure like this. I mean pressure of you standing over the dog in order to actually manipulate and put the collars on the dog. It's a great time to get bitten. So safety protocols, safety precautions, thinking ahead, having a strategy how you're going to do it can save your behind and save you a trip to the ER, and also help you move forward with the dog, which is actually one of the greatest side effects or benefits of doing this approach. That is pre-muzzle conditioning, long line on the dog, and then being able to, like, escort the dog in and out of the crate. And what you'll find is, by having the long line on the dog and being able to go through this protocol numerous times during the course of the day, the resistance to not want to come out of the crate, if the dog is like in the space, like, I don't want to come out, or I want to come out and I want to, like, nail you, or just being weird or uncomfortable about it, that stuff will typically fade, because there's no big event. That's the best way to put it. It's just like, you grab the line, escort them out, off they go, right? Crate slams on their noggin if they try and, like, jam out. But other than that, it's like, escort them out, escort them in, escort them out, escort them in. Pretty soon, the crate and you and the interaction becomes pretty much a non-event, and that's what you want it to be. So that's my best suggestions for crate issues and keeping yourself safe, because it's something that a lot of people get themselves into trouble with. It's a place where a lot of people get bitten, owners and trainers alike. And so I recommend to all of the people that I come in contact with, do not gear dogs up inside the crate, for God's sakes, and do not try to ungear them inside the crate. High pressure, high probability of getting bitten. Get that dog out, work them in a neutral space. You have a much better chance of safe, pleasant, nice, and then moving forward, non-eventful interaction. So hope that helps. And any questions to clarify anything about it, drop them in and I will get to them. All right, thanks, see you.